gave me a gift of a small what you call. Let's see if it's still gonna be on. Some kind of like small piano, but it can be turned into organ. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Balava Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Gopi Jana Balava Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunya Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. A little bit, just this practice, but it's a nice instrument to learn. Sounds like harmonium. Om Jnanantimirandasya Gyanangana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Palakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Shajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakambitamscha He Krishna Karuna Shindo Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kipashindu Vyaivacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So yes, We're happy again to see all of you in Baltimore and Washington area. Um, so today I chose to read from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 22 and text 109. Specifically, this speaks about the process of devotional service. Ragahina, Ragahina Janabhaje Sastrera Agaya Vaidhī Bhakti Bhalitare Sarva Sastre Gaya. Or before this, we invoke Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ragahina Jana Bhaje Shastrena Agyaya Vaidhī Bhakti Bale Tare Sarva Sastre Gaya. Synonyms: Ragahina, who are without spontaneous attachment to Krishna. Jana, persons. Bhaje, execute devotional service. Sastrena, sastrera agyaya, according to the principles and regulations described in the revealed scriptures. Vaidhī Bhakti, regulative devotional service. Bali, calling. Tare, that. Sarvasastre, all revealed scriptures. Gaya, sing. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who have not attained the platform of spontaneous attachment in devotional service render devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, according to the regulative principles mentioned in the revealed scriptures. According to the revealed scriptures, this kind of devotional service is called vaidhī bhakti. Purport. In the beginning, one has to hear from a bona fide spiritual master. This is favorable for advancing in devotional service. So just like in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami, or in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, because Nectar of Devotion is the summary study of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Prabhupada says this is like the law book for all the devotees. And it is mentioned there, especially the process of devotional service, how to discharge devotional service. And there are different items listed. And the first 10 specifically explains about the acceptance of a bona fide spiritual master, taking shelter of him, submissively inquire from him and serve him. This is very, very important, especially those who are very, very eager to go back home, back to Godhead, who wants to attain liberation from the cycle of repeated birth and death. Then it is mentioned that the only way how we can go back home, back to Godhead, and attain love of God is by discharging devotional service, but specifically by taking shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, because he has realized the truth, he has seen the truth, and therefore he can impart the knowledge. So this favorable in advancing in Krishna consciousness is mainly, especially by the taking shelter of bona fide spiritual master. According to this process, one hears, chants, remembers, and engages in deity worship, acting under the directions of the spiritual master. Yes, the development of love of God towards the Supreme Lord can be done by serving and pleasing the spiritual master. Spiritual master being the representative of the Supreme Lord, he can guide, he can give direction, he can dispel any doubt that is there by engaging that the disciple or the aspirant disciple to go back home, back to Godhead. The spiritual master purifies the heart by engaging the disciple into these different processes of devotional service, starting from hearing and chanting and remembering, um, engaging in deity worship, and so on. So these are the essential primary activities of devotional service. The devotional service explains by Srila Rupa Goswami, Bhakti is by one of the characteristics of Bhakti is that is rarely achieved. Um, why is it rarely achieved? Because it's the only way by which we can um, be able to, in a sense, have Krishna become like subjugated. Krishna becomes um subjugated, means subordinate, or in a sense, because of the wish and the love of his devotee. So the goal, why we're doing everything, these activities, executing, is specifically the main purpose of bhakti is that it gives us uh, free from the cycle of repeated birth and death, go back home, back to Godhead, and develop love towards Krishna. So when we do bhakti, when we do all of these different activities under the guidance of the spiritual master, in the beginning, we don't have love. Um, Love is there within the hearts of every living entities, but it's kind of covered up. It's covered up. So it needs to be uncovered. Prabhupada gave an example also, just like um, there are two like special kind of wood, special wood that when you strike mm, both of them with each other, then fire will come, will manifest. So similarly, the love of the Supreme Lord towards each and everyone's heart can be invoked by the under the direction of the spiritual master. Mm, under the direction. So by following in the beginning all of these different processes, we may not have love, but because we continue invoking the practice, then ultimately love of God will manifest. Mm. These are the essential primary activities of devotional service. Devotional service must not be executed for some material purpose. One should not even have a desire to merge into the absolute truth. Yes, because bhakti means you give something towards the Supreme Lord, but you don't expect anything in return. Uh, we cultivate this devotional service, and we concentrate on developing the attraction towards the Supreme Lord, um, merging into the um, Brahman effulgence. Says here, um, it's not the goal. It's not the goal. One should not even have a desire to merge into the absolute truth, as Bhakti uses. Jnana karmadi anabhritam anukulyena krishnanam siranam bhaktir uttama. Anyabilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anabhritam. One doesn't expect anything in return, even for material gain or what to say about speculation. So, ahaituki apratihata. One has to render such service out of love only. So this is the process. In the beginning, we don't have love. Even though love is there, but the process is called practice, vaidhī sadhana, vaidhī sadhana. And it's everyone has to somehow, for those especially the conditioned souls, they have to perform this vaidhī sadhana bhakti in order to invoke love of Krishna under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. So, yes, but it is not that practice alone invokes. It is our determination, it is our effort, it is our desire, and what is our main goal? What is our main motivation? So, bhakti means there is no motivation. The goal is to get 100% attraction of the Supreme Lord. And to please the Lord, we have to perform this devotional service unconditionally. Ahaituki apratihata, devotional service must be without ulterior motives. Then material conditions cannot check it. Yes, the more we practice this with our intention is only to please Krishna and not for our own benefit, then the more the love will manifest. I was just reading. There is another Shakti or energy of the Supreme Lord called Bhakti Shakti. Was that verse? Lord, Supreme Lord is the source of all these different energies. Primarily, he has Tatasta Sakti, the Jivas, marginal energy, yes, Tatasta Sakti. Then there is the Bahiranga Shakti, the external energy of the Supreme Lord, Maya, and the internal Antaranga Shakti, the internal energy of the Supreme Lord. So when one practices bhakti, then he is transferred into this internal energy, spiritual energy. So Maya is out of the question. When one performs bhakti, then Maya cannot be touched. The devotee, or there is no karma involved when one performs bhakti favorably. So yes, ahaituki apratihata, ahaituki, no motivation, no ulterior motive, then it will manifest. But this bhakti shakti comes from the Supreme Lord. It's an energy of the Supreme Lord. So the more the devotee performs bhakti, then Lord Krishna awards bhakti shakti, the energy that inspires or give impetus for the devotee to continue to serve the Supreme Lord um, in a favorable way is called bhakti shakti, that energy. So the more Lord Krishna gives this bhakti shakti, then the more that love of the Supreme Lord start to manifest. Gradually, one can rise to the platform of spontaneous loving service. So, yeah, sadhana bhakti has two, vaidhi sadhana bhakti and raganuga bhakti. There are two parts. There is this the practice, and there is the spontaneous. So Prabhupada says that we cannot come to that spontaneous platform where one by um, one already has developed love for the Supreme Lord, taste for the uh, loving and giving Krishna uh, pleasure, uh, until he first start, or the preliminary stage of this vaidhī sadhana bhakti, mm, this following rules and regulations, as mentioned in the scriptures, the sastra. So gradually, one can rise to that platform of spontaneous loving service. It's like Prabhupada gave an example. A child is sent to school by force to receive an education. But when he gets a little taste of education at an advanced age, he automatically participates and becomes a learned scholar. One cannot force a person to become a scholar, but sometimes force is used in the beginning. A child is forced to go to school and read and write according to the instructions of his teachers. Such is the difference between vaidhī bhakti and spontaneous bhakti. Dormant love for Krishna exists in everyone's heart, and it simply has to be awakened by the regulative process of devotional service. So it's a very nice example given here. Um, a child in the beginning, he doesn't want to go to school, but then um, sometimes he's enforced also by the uh, parents and also the teachers, giving instructions how to read and write. So in this way, the child will start to learn how to read and write, and then ultimately go to an advanced education. But first, one is needed to go in the beginning stage. Not everyone, not everyone can go immediately to the higher level. So by the practice of these regulative principles, and under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, mhm, then he'll be able to do it. Mm. Dormant love for Krishna exists in everyone's heart, and it simply has to be awakened by the regulative process of devotional service. One has to learn to use a typewriter by following the regulative principles of the typing book. One has to place his fingers on the keys in such a way and practice. But when one becomes adept, he can type swiftly and correctly without even looking at the keys. Similarly, one has to follow the rules and regulations of devotional service as they are set down by the spiritual master. Then one can come to the point of spontaneous loving service. This love is already there within the heart of everyone. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. So especially in the age of Kali, the process is that we have to hear and chant the holy name of the Lord. Remember Krishna in this way. And many are, especially in this day and age, many devotees are finding a difficulty, especially they're not able to come to the temple um, because of this crisis is going on all over the world. So somehow or other, they have to continue practicing uh, these regulative principles of devotional service, follow the rules and regulations of devotional service at home. And therefore, one should continue perform their sadhana. Mm. Most of our devotees are grihastas, but in this way also they have to get up early in the morning, mm, chant their rounds, offer mangal artik, huh? Do tulsi puja, and all these different items in devotional service mentions in the nectar of devotion. One may not be able to come to the mandir, of course, because of this um, situation is going on everywhere all over the world. But that doesn't mean that our practice of we have to be slack. Hmm. So what helps us to inspire in our practice of devotional service, especially, is that through book distribution and harinam. I've heard in Baltimore that you have already distributed or um, still going on already 12,500 books. This book distribution for Bhagavad Gita, especially in the month of December, is very, very encouraging um, to hear. How you're doing it, I don't know, because 12,500 is a lot. I mean, that means so many cartons of Bhagavad Gitas are being distributed in your area alone. And I'm sure many places all over the world also, because this is the month of Srila Prabhupada's book distribution marathon. Uh, but it doesn't mean also, though, that we don't do anymore after this. Of course, this is the festive mood because of the holiday season. Many people are in this mood also of giving. So this is the best gift that one can receive or give. But there is a saying, uh, it's better to give than to receive. For those devotees who are understanding this importance of knowledge that's been given in this literature, Srila Prabhupada's books, especially Bhagavad Gita and Shrimad Bhagavatam, is very, very conducive for the conditioned souls if they receive them. Prabhupada says also, even if they just hold the book, read them, what to say, reading them, even one sloka or even one word, then their life can change for good, can be transformed. So yes, Harinam also. Obviously, some parts of the world they're still doing many Harinam, um, but in North America, in some places also. But if you can do it also, we've heard that you'll be doing like a Mahaharinam, so you have to be a little careful. So sadhana is an integral part of our everyday activities. Sadhana means like practice. So every day we do the same thing again and again, rising up early in the morning. Mm. And especially, we should concentrate more on our japa, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Um, the importance of hearing and chanting the holy name of the Lord cannot be overemphasized. Um, if we put japa as our priority, especially in the early morning hours, then uh, we'll be able to see the difference, how we'll be able to tackle the whole day. I'll be able, Maya will not touch us. Will become so energized, spiritually energized, that we'll be able to also even inspired to give this knowledge to others more and more. The process of sadhana bhakti is very important, especially for the beginners like us. And book distribution and harinam gives us inspiration to continue on again and again and again. Mhm. Because in such process, we engage our mind, body, and senses all together, mm, completely. Um, and there is no special qualification to have this. It's everybody's um, what do you call rights. Yeah, it's everybody's rights. So bhakti is internal, and everyone is qualified. Even a sudra or woman or a sannyasi or a householder, but it has to be done under the guidance again of a bona fide spiritual master. Hmm. And the main function of the spiritual master, or the main duty, his service, is to engage us in devotional service. And Prabhupada says the best is book distribution, Harinam, Sankirtan, because this is our movement. We're Sankirtan movement, preaching movement. But it enhances our sadhana. It depends. Just like one time, book distributors, they were talking to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada asked him, "So what do you teach to the devotees?" Because some of them, they travel to different temples and train devotees how to distribute books. And Prabhupada says, "Oh, how do you teach them distribute books?" So the book distributor, he says to Prabhupada, is one of the topmost book distributors in the history of ISKCON. So he says that first we told them that they should have a very strict sadhana, have a very strict sadhana. Mm, Chant early in the morning. Some of them, they even chant before Mangal Artik, um, half of their rounds. And then after Mangal Artik, they will chant half of their rounds. And then they will read. So in this way, uh, the book distributor becomes very, very inspired and strong and determined, if especially the sadhana is very strong. Um, and this is applicable for everyone, even the grihastas, as we mentioned. Grihastas, especially, they need more, um, what do you call this, ammunition. Everybody needs this, but especially the grihastas, ammunition against the material energy. Mm. So if one is strict in one sadhana, then especially one engages in book distribution. Actually, and Harinam, there's a correlation. The more you go out in book distribution and Harinam, then the more your sadhana becomes strong. Then the more you become inspired. And the more you perform your sadhana, then the more your inspiration to increase book distribution and do Harinam, even virtually. I know one couple from Calgary. They've been chanting every day for world peace, love and peace for over 200 and 75 days now. Mm, It's like good. It's a good vow but at the same time, it's part of their sadhana to do that. So, so happy to impart some of this importance of sadhana and book distribution and Harinam, especially in this day and age. If you can do Harinam, then very good. Then if not, then at least through virtual, we can associate with each other. And the more we associate with each other, then the more our determination also increases. The association of devotees is there even from the preliminary stage till one attains prema. No one goes back home, back to Godhead alone. You need guidance. Um, so bhakti is the only sadhana. Hmm? And Srila Rupa Goswami very nicely explained about this bhakti tattva or bhakti rasa tattva in the nectar of devotion. So everyone, I recommend to read that. Uh, and also Bhagavad Gita. Read Bhagavad Gita every day. Bhagavad Gita cannot be, especially the book distributors, part of your sadhana also. Or any of Srila Prabhupada's books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. That will give us inspiration, determination to keep going on and on and on, especially in these trying times. Okay, I'll stop here. If you have any questions or comment, please you can write or you can open your Zoom, or it's time for you to ask any question. Hare Krishna.
Well, thank you so much, Maharaj. We really appreciate it. I think this is what we are needing, this tonic during this COVID time. Vaccine is there, but this vaccine of Krishna conscious Katha, which you gave, that's a vaccine which we need, Maharaj. I think that was thank you so much. I think it was really the thing which I was looking for also. And I think many of our devotees here were very inspired for that. Maharaj, I have one question for you. You has mentioned that with book distribution, Harinam is very important. With this COVID time, everything, I know that Harinam is still possible because you can go out. So our preachers, we had a team of like 20 devotees in Baltimore for preaching. We took a vow that we were first thinking we'll do every week, but then we said maybe we are just too overzealous. Something we should do something which is practical. So we decided to go once a month at least, so that we can put all energy together. Is that doable for now, and then we can increase further, Maharaj?
The Harinam?
Yes, Maharaj.
Well, if you can do it, then so much the better. I mean, if it's not against the health department of Baltimore or something for you to go out, but I think you have to put mask.
Yeah.
Even it's like we did. I remember going out, near with you all.
Yes,
it's really nice. I mean, this is the life and soul of the devotees to be engaged in Harinam Sankirtan and also book distribution. The more you do this, the more your sadhana will become enhanced. Everybody has to do sadhana if they want to go back to Godhead. We cannot. We there's no way out of this. Otherwise, if a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord gives his mercy, kripa, some became perfect because of the kripa. But we all also have all the mercy from Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Maharaj to continue on. But there's special occasion, yes, that others they attain Krishna prema without undergoing sadhana, but this is very rare. Very rare.
Thank you.
Like, Narad Muni meeting the but they still chant. Like Mrigari the hunter.
Yeah.
You've heard that story.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still he has to chant. So yes, if you can go once a month, hmm at least, then that'll be great.
Okay.
That'll be great.
Thank you.
hmm
Any other question?
Anything else?
You raise
Hare
hand.
Krishna Maharaj. This
Hey,
is
go.
Rasala Krishna Das. Can
Hey,
you hear
go.
me, Maharaj?
Yes. You have any question?
Yes, I have a question specifically in reference to the verse you just discussed. Can you hear me, Maharaj?
Yes. I
Okay,
can hear you well.
okay, great. So the question is sometimes a devotee, experiences hindrances and obstacles in carrying
Mm-hmm.
out devotional service. So,
Mm-mm.
for example, if one's health may be failing, then he or she, may not be able to effectively, carry out loving devotional service. So, in such instances, when one prays, for removal of, such obstacles, is that considered under the mode of like pure bhakti, or is it considered, bhakti with an ulterior motive? Especially when the intent is to obtain, pure devotional service.
Yeah. So Krishna knows what's in our hearts. The what Krishna actually is attracted to is our sincerity. Sincerity means like having that one focus, determination to please Him. So, in spite of this material different difficulties that we have, which may include our body, mm, our body, but especially the mind. They all, if we're very sincere in our efforts to train our mind to become Krishna conscious, to always think of Krishna 24 hours in a favorable way, um, whatever difficulties that we may have, Krishna will overlook, and the desire to serve Krishna, uh, in spite of so many difficulties, and asking also Krishna to help. That is all right. That is means you're communicating with the Supreme Lord. You're accepting His supremacy. You're asking like your best friend. If you ask your best friend some help, best friend always understand. Correct or not?
Mhm.
Huh?
Rusala?
Yes.
Yes, agree, Maharaj.
It's just a matter of changing our intentions, exchanging our intentions for ourselves towards the Supreme Lord, for the Supreme Lord's pleasure. Then, whatever difficulties we may have, and if we ask for help, Krishna will help. What's that verse? I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. So it doesn't matter what kind of you have desire, but at least akama sarva kama ba moksha kama udarati timbrena bhakti yogena. Whether one has a desire, whether has no desire, or all the desires, still we should try to uh, approach the Supreme Lord through bhakti. Then he becomes purified. The whole process is purification, purifying our mind, body, intelligence, senses, through the process of bhakti, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Okay? Have any questions? Any other questions?
Yes, Janardana Maharaj, Shyam Krishnadas.
Oh, Sham Krishna will always have a nice question.
No, Maharaj, your class was so clear, so I don't think I have a really question, but maybe there is some
Comment. You can comment.
hidden questions in the comment that I like to make it.
Yes.
It is a very important topic that you discussed today, which should be part of our life. You know, it is for the devotees. But what I was trying to mention that Prabhupada mentions that sadhana bhakti.
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Prabhupada mentions that sadhana bhakti, of course, it is important for beginners and advanced, but Prabhupada says that, sadhana bhakti is also very important even for the liberated people, liberated person.
Yeah. Yes.
And so that is common, but there is a hidden question that, why if the liberated devotees or liberated soul, why do they need? Don't they have the do they still have to do sadhana bhakti because they are already into the absorbed in Krishna because they are liberated?
Good. Well, you see, for us, we have to endeavor everything. Endeavor to get up, endeavor to chant, endeavor. The only thing we don't endeavor is to honor prasadam. You're a liberated person. A liberated person, he doesn't have to endeavor. Automatically, he's performing all of this without difficulty, and ultimately also to show example for others. That's like even Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, if I have not done this, if I'm not to do this, then how others will follow? So he himself, he follow because sadhana bhakti, he also followed. He wake up early in the morning, as soon as the roosters crow, early in the morning, the dawn, he will perform his sadhana, his meditation. So yes, they follow automatically, the liberated souls, all of this, without any endeavor, and as an example for others to follow. It's just it's normal for them, but for neophytes like us, oh no, we don't want to get up, we don't want to chant, the only thing that we always wanted to do is to have prasadam. That's fine. But the other parts of bhakti, we're finding it difficult to control our mind to read, even for like 1 hour or half an hour or one sloka. So if we put all of our attention, our focus, then we'll be able to understand. And the liberated souls, they do it joyfully. They do it like susukam kartaham adyayam, joyfully performed. Sometimes devotees, when they do try to ask to do some devotional service, they do it grudgingly. Without saying, yes, Prabhuji, anything else? You can give me more service, or you can tell me more what to do. No. A neophyte is very difficult, with great difficulty. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
I'm sure you don't have any difficulty now, right? Hare Krishna. Anything else? Any comments? Any more comments?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. This is Vivek here. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for this class today. You really, you nicely explained about sadhana bhakti, how it is important for us. The question I have, Maharaj, is that often when we talk to neighbors, trying to somehow say expose them to Krishna consciousness, sometimes there are like, right, people are from different backgrounds, even from origin of India, and sometimes say probably they are from, say, for example, they are from one of the four sampradayas or some sub-branches of the sampradayas. So what happens is that sadhana bhakti is not okay, at least
the same.
Yeah, so sadhana bhakti
Not the same.
Yeah, it's like at least I do not have the understanding or knowledge about it. It seems to that people from other sampradayas, they look the sadhana bhakti that Lord Chaitanya has prescribed to be more strenuous. And how do we make them understand, or because I do not have the knowledge of what practices that they follow, because all I understand is Lord Chaitanya.
Okay, I understand your question. It's actually, Prabhupada gave already an example in the beginning that a child doesn't want to go to school, but then somehow he has to be forced, even by the teachers, so that he has to study hard, but it's for his own good. So sadhana bhakti is like this. We're doing this practice, which seemingly is, it is difficult. Austerity, especially hearing and chanting, is the greatest austerity in Kali Yuga. Okay, at least chant Hare Krishna for now, because this is like stage by stage. The more one's surrender increases towards the Supreme Lord, then the more actually he wanted to do things more for the Supreme Lord. So in the beginning, we may ask any newcomer at least chant 1 round, then 2 rounds, then 4 rounds. Then after some time, if he becomes committed, he will chant 16 rounds. In the beginning, we don't tell people, okay, if they become a little serious, then they follow the 4 regulative principles as well. But in the beginning, we don't prohibit anybody from, meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication. We just tell them, okay, you just chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So one's commitment in performing sadhana bhakti correlates again to one's surrender, how he wants to very eagerly to get out of this material world. So, but these are just the basics. Prabhupada says, just to follow the 4 regulative principles. But then, to attain love of God, we have to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hear and chant, remember him, and all these things. And other processes, if one wants to become really serious in bhakti, then, he gets up early in the morning. You have to pay the price. Gets up early in the morning, chant one's round, perform Mangalartik, Tulsi Puja, and all these things. Read from the Shastra and chant more Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah. Otherwise, what is the chance for one to get out of this material world if one is not willing to pay the price? And what price are we paying is just very simple: performing sadhana bhakti under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Do you follow?
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, my question was more not towards, say, absolutely newcomers, but there are some people who are, say, part of already some other sampradaya or some sub-branches or some sampradaya.
I know,
they do not.
They don't know. Listen, they don't know the result. If they can have their
Okay.
own sadhana, but we have our own sadhana based on teachings of Srila Prabhupada. And if they say that this is very difficult, why don't you try it first? Actually, this is very enjoyable. It becomes part of your life. Every day you do the same thing, and it's always fresh, it's always new, and it's ecstatic. You're always happy, joyfully. You're doing it. And if you miss your sadhana, you feel bad. No, you're not able to do it due to your, physical health or whatever. So it is not really difficult. They may say it is difficult. Then they should try first. Then they can say it is difficult or not. But you can see devotees getting up early in the morning. They automatically they're happy, isn't it?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes children will wake up, earlier than the parents, and they will say, "Yeah, let's go do kirtan," right? So,
Yes, Maharaj.
what is the difficulty with that sadhana, chanting and hearing, doing kirtan? There's no difficulty there. Actually, it's the easiest, the most practical. You don't need anything. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be educated. Nothing. This Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is meant for everyone. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So we stop here now.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Sorry, we're gonna miss you again for some time.
Yes.
You can keep coming, Maharaj.
Yes, give me the privilege, and it's an honor to be with you.
We are hoping that Krishna mercy, your everything health is good. Then and COVID comes down, then just like last time you were able to spend some time with us, we'll be so grateful, because I think it just rejuvenates the whole community itself and all our brothers and sisters, Maharaj. So hoping for that.
Yeah, missing all of you also.
Thank
for
you,
sure. Those devotees have some connection all over the world. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Have a happy New Year.
Happy
Have
New
a
Year.
happy
also, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
For the devotee, every day is a new year. It's a new day. New Year is there's no difference. It's just the calendar is changing. But it's the same thing for us, isn't it? Holy day every day. It's only the non-devotees. They need some kind of inspiration to have. Oh, it's a new year, so it's a new hope, new paradigm, new something. But nothing will change. It's the same thing. Actually, sorry, but Kali Yuga is getting more and more deep. So it'll become more and more difficult. And we should not expect that things will be better. No. But the devotees are always optimistic, because their journey back to Godhead is more important than the secondary things, what's going on. So you have to be strong in your sadhana to fight against the opposition, the material energy. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you very much.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Your
All glories